All right, let's reevaluate this sharing process. Okay. Uh, all right. What about now? Are we good?
Yeah, all good
All
now.
right. All right. Cool. What a win. So here's our counter variable, and here's our placeholder string. Here's where we're iterating. Here's the array that we're iterating uh, over, and here it's just whatever we get passed in. And here's what we're going to check. And here we're going to check to see if the string at this current index is larger than our counter, right? And of course, the first iteration it's going to be because our counter is just instantiated with the value of 0. And because it's going to be larger, we're going to do something. What we're going to do is we're going to immediately set the counter to the length of whatever string is that we're checking at the time, right? So it's just going to be index 0, I guess, initially. And then we're also going to set our placeholder equal to the string at that current index. And we're just going to iterate through the whole thing, and we're going to continue to check over and over again to see if the next index is longer than our counter variable. If it is, so we're going to reassign some stuff and just keep moving through. And that was the original solution that I came up with. And then, which does pass the tests, confirm that. And then I have another one, which I thought was kind of fun. And that was just using reduce, because I think it's always fun to practice reduce. And this is a very similar sort of deal, just with, let me just move this up, some other stuff going on here. So I used accumulator and current here just as a refresher, because some of you may not be really familiar with reduce, or it could be a little hazy. So for me, as you all know, after yesterday, I like to console log everything that I'm doing so I can figure out what's going on and how things are moving around. And that's how I personally learn how to do all this stuff, because reading about it and watching videos, it's all great, but unless I can actually get in there and understand what's happening, I really don't know what's happening. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the given array and we're going to do a reduce over it. We have this accumulator value and this current value. The current is just going to be whatever index we're currently working through. And the accumulator is going to basically store whatever value is returned from our check down here, our conditional, right? The accumulator is going to start at index 0. So the first iteration, the accumulator, as you see here, is just going to be equal to the first thing in our array. And our current index is just going to be equal to the next thing. What we're going to do here is we're going to check to see if the length of this first index, which is our accumulator, is greater than the length of our next one, which is this one, goodbye. And because it is greater, then we're just going to do a return. Now, even if it's not greater and it's different, we're still, whatever value gets returned from here is basically all we're looking for, right? Because on the next iteration of this reduce, the accumulator is going to store, it's going to have whatever value is returned, right? And in this case, we're checking to make sure that it's larger, right? But if it's not, then it's going to do the current, it's going to return as the current, and then the accumulator is going to take on that value because obviously the current would have been larger. Right, so here we can see that accumulator starts out, it's hello, it compares it to goodbye. Goodbye is larger, so the next iteration, the accumulator is goodbye. And then we're going to compare goodbye to the next current index, which is going to be this longer word, this guy right here. And because this longer word is larger than goodbye, the accumulator on the next round is going to be equal to that, to this larger word. We're going to check this larger word next to coffee. And because this larger word is also greater than coffee, the accumulator is going to remain the same. And then we're finally going to check this accumulator, which is this value, to donuts. And this longer word is greater than donuts. And so that's our final return value. And this also passes the tests. So those were my solutions. And if anyone else has a cool solution and they want to share, that'd be pretty cool. I will Nice, nice. Yeah, I thought about using a sort, so I'm glad that you did. Let's see if I can. This is Chris's solution, and that will probably pass the tests, and it does. Nice, nice. I love it. I love it. Very well done. It's really pretty. That actually might be like the shortest solution that I've seen so far. Cool. And I think that's all I have here. So I will end the recording.